right now because he's the most decorated player in NFL history.
Yes, sir.
Seriously, moment of silence and reflection of his greatness. Like, okay. Damn!
Quick. Like, that was way too quick a moment of silence.
Dog, we on TV, people like, hey, all right, keep it going. We know he's still playing. Bro, but being real, dog, there's been over 25,000 players to step on the football field in an NFL game. And Tom Brady looks at every single one of them in their eyes. No matter who you're talking about, Joe Montana, Charles Haley, all these guys with 4 or 5 rings, it doesn't matter. And he looks at them from up high because he's the most decorated football player ever. You know what the problem is in perception right now? A billionaire just got $1 million check. He looking at that like, okay. You are looking at it like,
that's a good take.
Okay.
I like that.
Because that's what the problem is. What Tom Brady just did, Baker Mayfield is like, I would love that. Hey, Tom, over here, let me get that $1 million. Let me get that playoff berth. Let me do what you've done in Tampa Bay so far. And what has he done? He checked a couple boxes that people were challenging him to check. What was the first box? Win without Belichick. Simple as that. Keep it simple. You're going to leave Bill Belichick? Oh, we thought you were a game manager or a system quarterback. Go somewhere else without Bill Belichick and his influence and win. Check. Now, what's the second box they asked him? Can you have an impact, winning culture mindset, cultural impact anywhere else? Or was it all Belichick's way, Patriot way? Went to Tampa Bay, same Tampa Bay that has not made the playoffs since 2007. Check. Uh-oh. They haven't won double-digit games since 2010, a decade ago. Tom Brady, check. Hell yes, it's a success. We're not going to get into this Super Bowl or bust conversation, but I'm going to let you take your lap, because if you take me there, I'm coming back with the counter. Let's do it.
Every now and then, Sale, on this show, I try to take you out with a headshot. Sometimes I understand I might not win the round off the decision, so I come out the gate just throwing haymakers, hoping I can knock you out.
All right.
But this block, I want you to die slowly. I'm going to hit you with some rim shots.
You going to gut me up?
I'm going to hit you with some rim shots.
Let's go.
It's not a success, Marcellus Wiley. And it's not a success for Tom Brady because, like you just said, if that billionaire makes $1 million, it ain't a success for him.
Come on now.
It ain't a success for the billionaire. Your experience is your expertise, right?
I'm listening.
That's fair.
That's me.
By the grace of God, I just had a New York Times best-selling book.
Yeah.
Premiered on the New York Times bestseller list at number 3. McConaughey was in front of me in a book, Humans of New York. If I write my next book, Marcellus Wiley, and I make the New York Times bestsellers list and debut at 15, it's not a success.
That's not a success?
Not a success.
Coming from an author who didn't make the New York Times bestseller?
It's not a success.
That's not? I'm going to tell you it is.
Because my bar is higher. If I sell 10,000 copies, it's not a success.
Okay, well,
for me.
Yeah, me either.
Because my bar now is higher.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, Marcellus Wiley, 18 years as a starter in New England. 18 years as a starter, the full starters, full seasons. 9 times you made the Super Bowl, 50% of the time. More than 50% of the time you made the Super Bowl, you won the Super Bowl. It ain't a success to make the playoffs for Tom Brady. It's not a success.
Wow.
You're used to making the playoffs. I'm going to give it to you like this, because we can go cross-sports, we can go cross-dimensional out here. It's not a success for Serena Williams to make the U.S. Open. It's not a success.
To win it?
To qualify.
Just to qualify?
It's not a success to qualify.
That's real.
It ain't a success for Tiger to qualify for the Masters. It wasn't a success for LeBron James to go to Miami and make it to the finals year 1 and lose to the Mavs. Because remember what happened year 2. Well, I believe it was game 6 before playing the Boston Celtics. He said, I had to win. Because if not, Pat Riley would have torn this whole thing up. Because LeBron James knew when I went to Miami to join greats, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, greats at that time, it wasn't a success for me to get there. And we compare Tom Brady to LeBron James. Some compare him to Jordan, but the current athletes playing, we compare him to LeBron. It's not a success for GOATs to do good things. It's not a success for greats to do good things. Greats, it's a great thing. That's a success.
But the only way he became the GOAT was having great seasons.
Correct.
And the only way to have great seasons is to qualify for the playoffs.
Absolutely.
And you can't lose sight of that. Like, if Jeff Bezos is sitting there laughing at $1 million check, he's out of touch.
He probably is, though,
but I don't know that. But the point is, I don't care if he is or not. The fact is, you can't look at something that is the deemed qualifier to the ultimate goal as not success. Because this is Tom Brady we're talking about. Who was Tom Brady? A 6th-round pick. Has Tom Brady forgot who he was? No. He even talked about it when he was in Detroit, taking off his pads at halftime. It's like, wow, my career started here. 300 games ago, and it brings back memories, nostalgia. I reflect on that. Tom Brady is not out of touch, so I'm going to use Tom Brady against Tom Brady.
Please do.
Look at this. He changed the identity, be real, of the most losing franchise in sports history, not the Clippers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had the most losing seasons in sports history, and Tom Brady shows up, and all of a sudden we are talking Super Bowl contention as long as Tom Brady in the building. But you want to talk about Super Bowl or bust. You try to reconstruct it. You try to say it in a different way. But basically you're saying if Tom Brady doesn't win it all, then how is this a success? Okay, well, by that same standard, Brett Favre was a failure in 95% of his seasons because he didn't win it all, 18 of his 19 seasons. How about Drew Brees? 94% of his seasons, 17 of 18 years. He ain't win a damn Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, the same, 11 of 12. Peyton Manning, 87%. Dan Marino, 100% of the time was a failure. That's what you telling me? Since Dan Marino, who is one of the all-time greats, has never won it, he wasn't a success?
No, here's what I'm telling you. It's an accomplishment. It is not a success. An accomplishment is to get something done. They won 10 games. That is getting something done. A success.
And playoff berth.
And a playoff berth. That is getting something done.
10 games don't mean a playoff berth. Ask Baker.
That's true.
Okay.
That is getting something done. Success is accomplishing the aim or purpose.
Oh,
that's the difference.
So there's only one successful quarterback, one successful team a year.
It depends on your aim or purpose. What was Justin Herbert's purpose this year?
To just sit and learn?
To prove after he became the starter.
Oh, okay.
To prove he can play quarterback.
Yeah.
What was Dwayne Haskins' purpose during that last game? To win, so you can keep your job. Dwayne Haskins wasn't trying to win a Super Bowl last week. He was just trying to win the game. Tom Brady's aim or purpose in going to Tampa was not to make the playoffs.
Don't do that to Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's aim or purpose in going to Tampa was not to lead the league in passing yards. His aim and his purpose in going to Tampa was to get to and win a Super Bowl. So is it an accomplishment? Yes. Is it an accomplishment if I write another book? Yes. I've accomplished that task.
Yeah,
but it's not a success unless I accomplish my aim or purpose.
Look, I understand we're both trying to attack the word success and figure out which door is going to open it best, unlock it, so we all can understand. But there's a different definition for the same word. It could be a literal definition or a figurative.
Talk to me.
Like, be real. I played 10 years in NFL. Our aim, our purpose, our goal was to win a Super Bowl every year. But every single player who says that knows that the reality is you won't. Because 31 teams are going to have to go back to the drawing board, and one team is going to say, confetti, come here. So if I'm looking at that from Tom Brady's eyes, he even knows that, and he's the most decorated player ever. Tom Brady has played now, this is his 21st season. How many Super Bowls has he won? 6 out of 20 so far.
Yes, sir.
Are you, half the time you're saying Tom Brady is a failure? Are you saying 14 of 20 times Tom Brady is a failure? Come on. The definition of success has to embrace that Tom Brady in those other 14 seasons was still a success.
I think it depends on how you look at it, because I understand where you're going. Yeah. And I used to think that. My second to last year in Philly, my second year in Philly, we go 10-6. We make the playoffs. Chip Kelly's our head coach.
Boom.
My third year in the league, second year in Philly, we go 10-6 again.
Boom.
But now we lose. We beat the New York Giants on New Year's Day to go 10-6, but now we don't make the playoffs. Same record.
Okay.
But we don't make the playoffs. At the end of the game, I'm taking out my shoulder pads. I'm like, hey, 10-6 ain't bad, y'all. 10-6 ain't bad.
Did you say that out loud?
I said it out loud.
Chill.
I said it out loud. I was like, hey, the season's over. We just beat the Giants in New York. We end the season at 10-6, but we can't make the playoffs because Cowboys had already
said that aloud.
Malcolm Jenkins looks at me because Malcolm Jenkins has already won a Super Bowl back in 2009-10 with the Saints. So Jenkins is looking at me like, 10-6?
Like,
what you mean that ain't bad? 10-6 is terrible. I'm looking like, well, my rookie year in Cleveland, I won 5 games. Last year, we won 10 games, and we were all celebrating.
I feel
like, we won 10 games last year on the same team, and we made the playoffs. We were happy. So this year, we won 10 games. My third year in the league, I'm still kind of young. I'm like, hey, 10-6 ain't bad, y'all. Malcolm Jenkins looks at me like, Acho, the hell you talking about? 10-6 is terrible. Why? Because his barometer for success is the aim or the purpose. And Malcolm Jenkins has won a Super Bowl. So his aim in playing a season is to win a Super Bowl. My aim is to do pretty good. 10 wins for me, I'm like, hey, that was a success. 10 wins for him was like, that's terrible.
Okay.
For Tom Brady, making the playoffs, bro, that don't mean nothing.
Interesting. Maybe we need to look at it from this perspective. Because you, when we're talking Baker Mayfield, will continue to tell me to